This video will guide you through batch processing and measurement data captured by the TC2 scanner. The first step of batch processing is to ensure the correct MEP is selected. So you need to go to the top menu along the bar here, and from the MEP file ensure that the correct MEP is showing. We're going to use for batch processing this 03 4cm tolerance size UK MEP, but you could use any of the other MEPs. We'll use this one because a number of the files that process the data following the extraction are optimized to dealing with data output according to this MEP. So once the correct MEP is selected, we need to begin the batch processing. To do that, we go to the top menu and select Batch Process, and this will bring up the Batch Process sub-menu. So within this, we need to first select the files that we're going to batch process. So we click on Select File. It'll bring up the menu, and it may be that you have to locate the menu where your RBD files are. For batch processing, you then select the files you want to batch process and open these, and they'll appear in the left-hand pane ready for processing. We then need to move to the bottom of the screen and click Extract Measurements. So this needs to be ticked because that's what we want to do in this instance in batch processing. We also want to put them into an empty log file, and prior to selecting the log file, we now need to select or create the location for the files to go into. So we're going to go to the bottom menu and open up Microsoft Excel. Now you can do this prior to going through the batch processing and have the file already on the desktop or already in the location you want it to be, but what you need to have is a .xls Excel file somewhere for the measurements to go into. So we're going to File, Save As, we'll give it a name that we're going to remember, and then we need to change it. It must be a .xls Excel 97 to 2003 workbook. Anything else and it won't save to it, and I usually just place this on the desktop as a default location and save. And then importantly, what you must do is close it down so the file exists but is closed, and that's where the measurements are going to go to. And you'll see here the path to the log file and its scan outputs that we're placing it into. But what we'll need to do first is obviously select it. So we'll select the log file, say OK, go to the desktop and find the log file that we've just created now, say open, and now it appears. So this is the correct location for our log file, and we can now process the scans. Prior to processing, I suggest you move this menu just to the side, and then when you press Process Now, you'll see each scan come up and all the measurements being extracted from them, and you can use this as a visual check just to make sure that your scans are okay at this stage as well. Once it's completed the processing of your measurements, you can close this menu down if you wish to and minimize the scan software, and you'll see here you have the scan outputs as a .xls file and this batch process log file that you have, which records the processing itself or what you've done just as a record. Now if you open the scan outputs file, you'll see it's saying it's in a different format, so it's saved it as tabbed eliminated text. Just say yes for now to open it, and then what you'll need to do is File, Save As, and you'll see tabbed eliminated text is what it's been saved as. You can change this to either an Excel XLS spreadsheet or to an XLSX spreadsheet. Either is up to you, and you can then overwrite the original with this, and you can say yes, and now you have your files or your scans output as raw measurement data according to the MEP that you can then move on to further analysis in either Excel or any other program which is going to accept measurement data from Excel. So you can close this down. Should you wish to repeat the batch processing again, when you click on Batch Process, you could reuse the original files or use any of the options within this menu to create new outputs as well.